video, guys. Today we will have a look at BTC. We will go over a little recap of what we talked about last time. Have a look at our current development here. Also look a bit at the time ratios we expect in these current moves and what would invalidate my count and would favor this over here being a WXY wave rather than a B with 5 waves in C over here. So let's jump right into it. We will take a look at this right here first. So this would have been our A wave, the bigger B wave, and then a C wave that needs to be in 5 waves. So if we let me draw it in real quick. So this is what I see: an A wave, a B wave, and then a C wave that is still ongoing, which would be part of a bigger wave 4. So in my opinion, we still had this right here: a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, still a wave 4, before a wave 5 still is coming. A lot of people currently have this right here as their count, but I don't know, I just don't think that this wave 4 and 5 could be this small compared to what we saw in wave 1, in wave 2, in wave 3. Because if we now go to the time ratio, we can see that wave 1 started from here and lasted for 28 weeks. Then wave 2 lasted 37 weeks. Wave 3, so that's the point to where pretty much every analyst so far agrees with. The wave 3 would have taken 57 weeks, and then he would have had a wave 4 with 10 weeks. So the time ratio already is a little strange here, and the wave 5 would have taken about 20 weeks. So if we now take the entire wave 4 and 5, we end up at 30 weeks, which is, compared to wave 3, extremely small. Compared to wave 2, also very small. This entire move would be missing. And even to, compared to wave 1, the only, so both waves combined are a little bit bigger than wave 1. Each one separately, they are all smaller than wave 1, wave 2 and wave 3. So that doesn't make too much sense in my opinion, because usually they are kind of the same length, or similar at least. So like you have it here, this one was 28 weeks. Wave 3s are usually bigger, so it makes sense for it to take like 57 weeks. And same as we have it here, so 37 weeks for wave 2, And as this wave 2 is the retrace of this one over here, the wave 2 was slightly bigger than the wave 1, and currently we are at week 64 of this wave 4. So we can see that our wave 3 was actually 57 weeks, and we now have a slightly bigger wave 4. So it is kind of the same like we had it here, where the wave 2 is slightly bigger than the wave 1 impulse. So yeah, so far it would make sense for this to be a wave 4. Now we will jump into this over here. So we will go a bit into more detail in this count, and also have a look at the time ratios in this part here. So what I see here is that we had a wave 1 here, a wave 2 here, a wave 3 here, then a wave 4 that we are currently doing over here, which I expect to be in around August. So let's place it here, and then around here I would expect wave 5 to come in. Let's change colors to, let's make it green. So why do I think that the wave 4 goes until here? Well, if we take the wave 1, we had 11 weeks. If we now go to here, we can see wave 3 was also 11 weeks. So they are similar in size, which makes sense. And this wave 2 was 9 weeks. So if we take the bottom here, you can see that we end up here on 15th August week. So that's exactly where I have this wave 4 top. And then from there you can have again 11 weeks for the wave 5. So that would put us to about 31st October. So around first week in November. So time-wise, this makes a lot of sense. Now we will have a look at the fibs. So this was wave 1. Wave 2 touched our 0.5 fib and then started to retrace again. 1 second. So we now take the fib. We fibbed the wave 2, and we could see that we touched the 2.618, which is very common for a wave 3. So usually wave 3 ends between the 2 and the 0.2618 fib. And if we now take this fib over here, we get the retrace targets for our wave 4. What we know is that the wave 4 cannot go beyond this level here, which was 32,950. So let's mark that, because if it goes past this level here, it can't be a wave 4 anymore, because the wave 4 is not allowed to enter the wave 1 territory. So what makes most sense? We have 3 potential targets here. Well, actually even 4, but I don't think we will get as high as this level here. So I would go with the 0.5 fib or the 0.618 as being the most likely territory to touch during this wave 4. So let's just place it here before we then have our wave 5 down. So this would also be a possibility, although I think we will have a slightly higher move due to the look of this. So if we now take this wave 2 as a comparison, we can place it like this, and we can see that we are doing pretty much this, not quite the same, but similar moves to what we did over here. So we are in a pretty tight range with quite a lot of volatility though. Quite the same as we have it here right now. So this would be the date, but I expect this to be a little higher. If we now would take the fib like this, so let's make it like that. So this could have been an A wave with B wave with a C wave still coming, which would make sense to touch this area here. So from 23.2 to 27.2k. That would make kind of sense as a C wave for this move up. So interesting is for sure this 25.8k level and the 29.1k level. After we hit the top of this wave 4, we then get the targets for the wave 5, which are usually between the 1.272 and the 1.618. So if we now assume that we go all the way to 29,100 and we place our fib like this, we can see that our target area for the wave 5 would be 15.3 to 12.8k, although this 12.8k would already invalidate this bigger wave 4 because we would enter this territory over here. So most sense would make to tap the 1.272 or the 1.414. And if we assume that we go to this 25.8k level, we can see that the fibs are slightly higher and our target zone would be pretty much where I drew this, so between 15 and 15.8k. So that would make kind of sense to touch before then seeing a reversal and our potential wave 5. So as a little recap, this level here, so the two black lines, this level here, 13,880 and 32,950 are the two most important levels in this current count, because if this wave 4 goes past this level here, it invalidates it. So if we do this, this is invalidated as a wave 4 and we have to reconsider the count. And if this wave 5 would go past this level over here, so let's say even if it just does this, then it invalidates this over here being a wave 4. So I hope that is clear. 1 second, let's just make a little experiment here. So 25 861.73. Okay, so if we now assume that we go to, let's take this level here, like 15k. If we now take 15k, pretty much there, and this level here, $15K. Alright, like this. Then so this could be our bottom. And if we take a look at, let me delete this, we probably have a better look at it then. Alright, so around this could be the wave 4 bottom, before we then have a wave 5 incoming in 2023. So probably the start of it during the end of the year, and then have wave 5 and somewhere in 2023. And also if we take a look at the fibs, we see that they pretty much got respected everywhere so far. They were quite significant, all levels. So this could really be the bottom of that wave 4 before you see a wave 5 going to the 1.272 to the 1.618. That would be the target zone for wave 5, and most people don't expect such a move at the moment. Another thing we can look at is where are they? Fib time zones. So from here to the bottom, I think it was here. Let me check. Yeah, okay. Because this is something I found quite interesting, because if you took the all-time high to the bear market bottom, you had the wave 1 inside this territory here, the wave 2 bottom inside this territory here, the wave 3 top inside this territory here, the wave 4 bottom probably inside this, and the wave 5 would then end before December next year. So that, so far it would fit into our general analysis. So this is my count and what I see incoming over the next few weeks and months. If we break through this level or this level though, the count will most likely be like Dan has shown, and that would then be like this. So probably a Y wave, so a W, X and a Y incoming here before, let me draw it, that will probably be a little easier to understand. So from here to here you would have had a W wave, a X wave and a Y wave, with then while this entire move would have been another W with an X and then a Y wave that would go quite deep. So we would take this right here to here. Yeah, that could fit. So yeah, let's say X wave to about here. Well, then the Y wave would go into this territory over here. So you would have a way more complex correction, and looking at time ratios, that would mean that the X wave would probably take until like, yeah, somewhere around here before the Y wave takes well into 23, 24. It could also be a bit like this and like this, but it would certainly drag out things quite a lot. So yeah, most important levels are certainly this 32,950 to the upside right now, and then 13,880 to the downside on our final move down. Those are the most important levels for me right now, and yeah, I will keep track of them. So far it just looks, yeah, like a wave 4 to me. It would be a perfect expanded flat so far, and most people currently think that we will probably drop to this range here. Let's make the red. So most people think that we will see this area here, because they are convinced that this is a bear market. If we now go to the fibs though and have a look at the wave 1, we can see that it nearly touched this 0.113 fib. So it had a very, very sharp decline. And when we look at this over here, which we identified as a wave 3, we can see that we currently are barely below the 0.618. And this fib over here would make sense to get tapped as a wave 4, which would then still be kind of shallow compared to this over here. Because if we go back to this, like that, we can see that this move over here already was deeper than this move over here compared to the wave 3 actually. So in this area here, it was already at a deeper fib level than we are at right now here. I will show it to you again. So as you can see, during these moves over here, we were already at this level here, and even wicked below it. So this one over here wicked below it, then it retested a little higher before the final move down. And in Elliott wave, you have a guideline that if a wave 2 is very sharp, the wave 4 is rather shallow. So it would make sense to tap here and then go for another high. So yeah, what could we look at? Still this, and what did we say, like 15k ish? Yeah, let's take this. So we have some confluence at all levels. So here, here, and here. So it would make sense to have a wave 5 coming into play to this area over here. Yeah, I hope this helps with BTC, and also just the little reminder what levels we currently look at, what time we are looking for, and yeah, just a general recap of this. We will now still take a look at XRP and check what levels we want to see there, but not as much in detail as we just did on BTC. So let's go over here, 1 second. So this, okay. So what we have here is this. Now we take this one. Alright. So far these fibs were respected very nicely. So I still expect our last move down to come into this area over here, same as BTC did before, during its wave 1 and wave 2. I've shown that in, I think, the previous video. So let's have a look at the correction. Okay, let's just mark the territories. So this one here, let's make it green. From there to, what was it, 15k? Not 15k, 15 cents. So this green area over here is what we could see as the final move down. And so far we have an A, a B, and an ongoing C wave. And in this, let me draw it. So this is what I see: A wave, B wave, C wave into this area here. And the C wave needs to be in 5 waves again, pretty much like we had it here: wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is what I see. So from here to here, a wave 1. Oh, okay, 1 second. I want that like this. Okay, again. So from here to here, a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, now a wave 4, which is not allowed to go past this level here, so not past 54,614. We'll have a little deeper look into where we would expect this move to go in a few moments, before we then head into this area over here. So time-wise this is not correct right now, but we will just focus on price for now. So okay, what we can see is that it touched the 0.272 fib. That's a level XRP likes a lot. And now we measured the wave 3, and we have said that this level here is the one that we don't want to go above on this wave 4. So what would make most sense to me is to tap 44 to 51 cents before a move down, probably around this level here. And if we now take, let's draw that from, well, we will start with 51. Let's make that bigger again. Now we can see our target range would be 24.5 to 20 cents. So that would be inside our target zone. So this could actually be our wave 4. If we now take 44.73, then we can see that we have this right here as a target range, so 25 to 21 cents. So yeah, the downside, so the same level we have here to the downside would be this over here, because if this move over here is a wave 2, it is not allowed to go past this wave 1 starting point. And if I will show you one more thing and then we will wrap up the video. So let's take BTC. Oh god. Okay, so if we go back to the bottom here to the all-time high, we can see that the wave 1 touched here the 0.786 fib before it then dropped to the 113, then went to the 1618. If we do the same thing over here, we can see how similar XRP moved so far. So we had a move to the 786 area, and now the 113 would be at about 16-17 cents. So we could see a wick to about here, which would be in our target zone. Well, actually this one over here would be at, where was it, 25-ish, around here. So this is the target zone I told you about. So 15 cents to 25 cents. That's where we have the last few orders. If we break below this level here, so this one, then this gets invalidated as being a wave 2, and then dance count probably comes into play, where you had a corrective wave here, which was a W wave, a corrective wave here, which then was an X wave, with another corrective wave incoming, which would then be a Y wave, but that would be kind of deep then. So if we go back to this and compare it, we had this move here, this move here, this move here. So a 1, a 2, and a 3, which would reach this level here. So the $26 I kept saying for wave 3 since I first started posting. So this just makes most sense in my opinion, but we keep track of the invalidation levels, same as we do on BTC. And yeah, I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, please